So, hi, this video is about feeling good versus making things make sense. And I actually just did a post about this on Reddit, and also like a little Twitter thread about my experience with these particular concepts. My desk is crazy. You know, when you clean up and then you got somewhere to go and then everything is a tornado again. It's like a tornado hit your room. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. But let's get to it, right? So I had a situation where I met a famous rapper's road manager last week. And in chat, and he's like, you could come to a concert because she got a concert coming up. I'll get you passes and you could chill with us and, get to the concert for free. You just got to get to this next state. I'm like, okay, cool. So 2 days later, Monday, I hit him up. I'm like, hey, you gave me a number. This is Jasmine. Da, 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 da. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. How many passes do you need? I'm like, 5. I don't know if that's a lot, but including me, I got 4 other girls, we're going to come through. He like, all right, give me a few hours. Let me talk to the promoter. Baby girl, I didn't hear anything from this man for 2 days. I hit him up and then he responded and he was like, yeah, I'm still working on it. I'll get back to you when I know something. So now I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I hope, this ain't a situation where the dude's just trying to jerk me around or just saying stuff just to say stuff. Because, people be doing that and it's really crazy. But every time I thought about it, I'm like, let me just assume the best. 2 more days go by. I don't hear anything. But eventually, he hits me up and asks me for the names that would be on the list. And then I don't hear anything again. So now, yesterday, Saturday, I'm like, sorry. So yesterday, he finally confirms it like a couple hours before it's time for us to leave to actually drive to the next state, because we was not about to drive before we had confirmation that we was going to get tickets. And even then he was like, oh, well, you got to get here before the show starts, because once the show starts I'm going to be unavailable. He's dealing with the concert stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now that's like the backstory of how I came to this conclusion about feeling good versus making sense. So throughout this week, from Monday to Saturday, when I actually got the confirmation, and even later on, I'll get into that, what would make sense to me would be that I didn't get the tickets, right? Because I have experiences where people just say stuff just to say stuff. They'll offer certain things and not follow through. I've been left hanging on a lot of situations, especially dealing with men. Like, I hate to say it, but dudes be leaving me hanging sometimes. That has happened in the past. And sometimes guys will just say certain things just because they think I'm cute. They're trying to get close to me and trying to seem important. So they'll volunteer certain things that they didn't have to and then not follow through. It's like, I've never understood that, but that happens. And so because I have these experiences, very real, very true experiences, logically, from what it seemed like was happening, it would make sense that I wouldn't get the tickets, right? He said, give me a few hours. I'm like, by a few hours, did you mean 72? Because, bro, it's been days since I heard from you, right? So that's a feeling that I noticed in my body. When things make sense, it kind of feels like it clicks into place because it logically makes sense. But then there's a differing feeling of feeling good. And so that is the feeling that I tried to follow along. But I didn't try to ignore the 3D. I didn't try to ignore things that happened or what the circumstances look like. I didn't try to ignore that. I acknowledged it. I was like, okay, to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that I would wind up getting these tickets because everything is pointing to me not getting the tickets. Like, he's taking mad long, or like, I don't know him from nowhere. Like, he don't owe me nothing. He just volunteered this. So if he was to just up and be like, yeah, I really couldn't get the tickets, my bad, you know, I couldn't be mad at that because I didn't know this man and he didn't owe me anything. So that would make sense, but that didn't feel good. And I chose to separate the two. Yes, it feels good, but it doesn't make sense that I would get the ticket, versus it doesn't feel good, but it makes sense that I wouldn't get the ticket. I think I said that right. But yeah, so I wrote those out in my notes, and I was like, these are two different feelings. When I thought both thoughts, it was like, these are two different feelings, both feeling like they belong, but for different reasons. One, because it was the way I was conditioned to think and to assume things, you know, to prepare for the worst. I was pretty much raised like that my life. Like, don't just be out here just doing whatever. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and whatever. But, you know, mainly prepare for the worst. So those types of assumptions have become my normal way of thinking that I consciously have to override every time it comes to something that I want to experience. But with this experience with the concert tickets, I found out through practice that it's the feeling good that you want to focus on, that you want to harp on. You can acknowledge, yeah, this don't make no sense. This doesn't seem like it's what's going to happen. This doesn't seem like it's supported by the circumstances that I'm in. I'm still going to focus on feeling good anyway. And in doing that, you continue to like live in that version of the situation. You continue to immerse yourself in that inner experience of what you want, instead of giving in to what would make sense. Because when something doesn't feel good and it doesn't make sense, you don't even entertain it. It's like, well, at least for me, I don't even entertain stuff like that. Like, it doesn't feel good and it doesn't make sense. Why would I even think about that? If it does feel good and it does make sense, I don't really have to entertain that either, because it's so easy to believe. Like, both things are working together. You know, they're shaking and agreeing. And I don't have to do too much to make myself believe that, because it makes sense and it feels good. I can think about it once, maybe twice, and then go about my business. But when it's like one thing where it feels good and it doesn't make sense, it feels a certain way. When it doesn't feel good, but it does make sense, it feels a certain way, but like a different certain way. So those are the times where I feel like going forward, now that I have deciphered that tension and I can spot it and know what it is, I feel like now I'm able to be like, oh, okay, this is what's happening, but I'm gonna focus on the feeling good, even though it doesn't make sense. And I've done that throughout my life, especially the last year and some change. That's what I've done. But I think now that I've actually put it into words, I can recognize it when it happens, and when I do feel it in my body, like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. This is what I can do next. So I just wanted to make a little video about that. I think feeling good in spite of something not making sense logically is the key. And if I feel like if I can practice that, then I'll have an easier time disregarding, not ignoring 3D circumstances and whatever, not ignoring, but disregarding. It's like, oh no, I know that you're there, but I'm gonna focus on this. For me, that's been the key, because when you talk about ignoring the 3D and ignoring circumstances, That's a whole nother video, but I'll just touch on it a little. When you talk about ignoring the 3D and ignoring circumstances, I feel like you're bypassing a part of your truth. Like the things that are there in front of you, it's really there. Like it's there. Some people will say, oh, it's not real and whatever. I don't subscribe to that belief because I'm the type of person, I like to be immersed in my world. Like that's why I'm here. That's why I'm human. I feel like if I wasn't gonna have a human experience, why would I have even tried to be born and whatnot? I don't know how that works, but just that's how I think about it. So I'm here to acknowledge, yes, this is real. It might not be what I want it to be. It might not be full like I want it to be full, but it's real. And so I can disregard it, but I'm not gonna like try to act like it's not existing. If that works for you, go for it. But that's not my cup of tea. All in all, that's that. I'll see you in the next video.